Hi guys, how are you today? All right, so today I'm going to talk about web application hacking, and also, if possible, we'll discuss several things about web server hacking, also web application hacking, depending on the time. Yeah. So today we'll start with the lab. This is actually our lab, web server and web application hacking. And we are going to use several tools here like WebWeb and Map, Nikto, OAS, Zap, and some other tools. Yeah, I could actually add something like, for example, Acunetics, Web Vulnerability Scanner, and also another one called Code Defender, Web Application Vulnerability Scanner. Okay, all right. So the targets for this particular lab, there are two targets, the 101, which I already set up, just a Windows server, yeah. And then there's another one called the Hack Me Bang website. And you could actually look at the task here. Task number one, we'll do the analysis. Basically, it's just like an information gathering using several tools like Nikto, WhatWeb, and Nmap. And after that, we'll do the scanning on vulnerability for vulnerabilities on the target website. You could also use additionally use the Acunetics Web Vulnerability Scanner and Code Defender. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. Okay, so number one is, let's go to Kali. So I'm going to use this Kali. So I log on, and so number one, we'll start with the using, let's say, Nmap. Yeah, so let's see, Nmap. We could use a very simple Nmap like n minus ss. Then after that, you put the minus a to scan a particular website. In this case, 131.107.1.101, which is our web server. Yeah, we'll see what we can actually find from this one. Okay, so let it run. While it's running, let's also do the information gathering and or analysis using different tool called, let's say, Nikto. So to launch Nikto is very simple. You just type Nikto, and then you press enter. And you'll see that you could actually put the host. Yeah. So for example here, the format would be to launch the Nikto, we need to put the host. Okay, let me see. So here, this is the host. Okay, then let's clear this one and run the Nikto -host. Then you can put the HTTP 131.107.1.101, right? So Nikto basically is a very nice tool which actually allows you to scan for web server information, as well as finding some common vulnerabilities. Okay, so you'll see several things here. Several vulnerabilities have been found. Okay, you can see the OSDB something. So for example here, let's look at the some vulnerabilities like the methods, the ASP. Yeah, so basically it's just that Nikto is actually a Perl script. Yeah, so while we can also run or launch the Nmap to scan for the, what do you call this, the port. Yeah, then another tool that I want to introduce is this one. Perhaps you already know this one, like for example here, the WhatWeb. Yeah, you just need to type WhatWeb HTTP 131.107.1.101. Okay, so see what we got here. Okay, so it says that our web server is a Microsoft IIS version 5. Yep. And you can also try a different target, like for example, in this example here is the, let me see, according to the lab, our target would be the Hackney Bang. You can start with this one, HTTP, just copy this one and go this one and then type what web and the HTTP. Okay, and see what we got here. Same thing, IIS version 6. In fact, I also have another host running Linux. So for example here, let me scan this pet store, which I already set using IP address of 253. Okay, so as you can see here, yeah, we got this 253. And then let's do the scanning here and see the difference, like what web, and then you put 253 and see what we got here. Wow, it's Apache. It's running Apache 1.3, very old one with mod SSL. And this website is actually running OpenSSL. And the title, Welcome to Pet Store, right? Okay, so of course, what web can be used to identify the version of the web server running on the machine? Yeah, it takes a while to actually scan this, the previous one. Yeah, as you can see here, no information yet. Now we got some information, so just right. Yeah, so here you can see that it's actually running. The server is running Microsoft SQL Server here, and for the port 80 is running IIS, which is actually the same as what we got here, IIS version 5. And then so basically we have already done with information gathering, very simple one. You just use Nmap. You can use Nikto. You could also use other tools like for example the OWASP Zap later on to find the information about the server. But in this case, I will use another tool, the same tool, in fact, the Nmap, but I'll do the scanning using the script. For example, here, let's start with nmap-n, then you put a script that will test the vulnerability on the target machine. Yeah, 131.107.1. Let's say 101. Yeah. While it's running, yeah, the next step would be this one, scan for vulnerability after we have successfully found some information about the web server. And you could actually use this browser, of course, to find more information about the target website. So launch the browser and then go to HTTP 131.107.1.101. This is our first target. Yeah, wow, we got this one, something like called welcome to news update. And we can also scan for or find information about the 131.107.250 254. Yeah, it's just running like that. Yeah. And in fact, if our target is actually running with this one, it's actually running so back to the web server and the website. In this example, in this lab, we need to actually scan this particular website called Hackney Bang, and it's actually running what do you call this? A very simple application. Yeah, And let's do the scanning. Oops, I went to the wrong one. Let me just close this one, go back and put this complete address. Okay, see what we got here. It's Foundstone Hackney Bank. You can actually do the scanning as well using Nicto, yeah, or even other type of tool, such as, for example, here. Yeah, so let's just wait for this script to run properly, and we can launch a tool called OWASP Zap. Yeah, so this is the one. Yeah, so I can actually do the scanning. For example, here the same thing, the Hackney website. You can just stop the previous attack, for example, and do the attack, or start the attack by entering the URL, complete URL for this particular website. Okay, so start, you do the scanning. So do you know that OWASP Zap Attack Proxy, or ZAP, can be used as a proxy where you can actually intercept the what do you call this, the requests from the client to the server. And this is also I mean, the tool can also be used to scan the website for vulnerabilities. Yeah, basically this is a version, I mean, free version of something called Burp Suite. I mean, compatible to, this is actually not from the same vendor. This is actually an open source tool created by the OWASP community, but it's good enough. Yeah, which will this tool allows you to actually scan for your target for website vulnerabilities or web application vulnerabilities, and it will show you the result. Yeah, it's actually better than Nicto, yeah, so far. Or if you are the let's say if you want to use the commercial version of something like this, you could actually use Burp Suite, which include the Burp Intruder, yeah, for commercial version, which you can use it for attacking the target web server or website. As you can see here, I already got the result from my scanning. You see this one, we got path traversal, we got the SQL injection. As you can see here, is running using the attack here, like zap or equal 1 equals to 1, and other things like Microsoft SQL Server injection, application error disclosure, and so on and so forth. Yeah, you can see the alert here, and you can do a spidering here. I mean, we have already done the spidering, so we can actually see what happened earlier, and you go back to the alert. Now, beside this, of course, if you have like a commercial version of the web application vulnerability scanners, like for example here, let me switch to task Win7 machine, which I already prepared previously. So let's start with this one. This is Acunetics Web Vulnerability Scanner version 10 Consultant Edition. It allows you to also scan the same thing, like for example here, let me just copy the same website and then click scan and see what they got here. Yeah, so it's automatically the tool will automatically detect your operating system, your web server, and also the technologies behind this web site. Yeah, and click next and next again to start with scanning. And also now we can confirm. Yeah, finish. It's very fast scanner, although for some website it will take hours to actually finish the scanning. While waiting for this one, we can also switch to another scanner, which I found quite interesting. I haven't really tried this. Let's just paste this one, the URL, and click start and let it run. Okay, so this is called the Defense Code Web Security Scanner Community Edition, which means it's free for non-commercial purpose. Yeah. Now let's go back to Kali, minimize this OWASP zap. Yeah. Let me see. Can minimize this, and still we're still waiting for the result of the vulnerability, what do you call it, scanning based on Nmap. Yeah, Nmap actually has bunch of vulnerability testing script. Yeah, here we can actually see some information about the backend server, like it's actually running Microsoft SQL Server, yeah, with one instance. And yeah, I just finished the scanning with the vulnerability testing script, and let's scroll up, and we found some network related vulnerabilities, but this is the problem with the Nmap. It does not actually detect the application layer vulnerabilities. That's why we can only use this for basic information gathering, yeah, to get some information. Like for example here, yeah, you can see this. Oh yeah, I can see now that there are some vulnerabilities detected by this Nmap. Let me see. So we got this enumeration. Yeah, there's a vulnerability called HTTP slow low risk check. Yeah, and it's actually vulnerable. Yeah, the result is vulnerable. It actually tells you that Nmap tells you that, like the web server or the website most likely is vulnerable to this slow low risk attack. Yeah. Okay. But of course, you can use the specific scanner to, I mean, like the web application scanner to actually scan for specific web application related vulnerabilities. Okay, like just like this one. The wait, I pushed the wrong one. Yeah, so like this OWASP zap or burp suite, for example. I think Kali has burp suite. Let me just check. Yeah, there is a burp suite. This is actually community edition. Yeah, so it's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. You just need to run the burp suite, and you have to select accept to accept the license, and create a project, temporary project, and then use burp suite default settings or default configuration, and we have to wait for a while to start the project. Yeah, so this is the interface of burp suite. This is actually almost the same as the OWASP zap. And let me see, we got the proxy here, yeah, where you can actually configure to intercept the HTTP requests. Yeah, by default is on. You can turn it off. You can configure the settings under the, if I'm not mistaken, under this proxy server. So this is where you add the proxy server, and you can go to this target. Yeah, we'll discuss the burp suite perhaps next time, but let me see. Let's check the proxy. So for example here, Upstream proxy server. Yeah, so you can add the proxy here. Let me see the options. Oh yeah, here burp listener is listening to 127.0.0.8080. You can change this one, of course. You have to stop it if I'm not mistaken. It's running. You can edit this, yeah, and you can change the port to, let's say, 5555. It's actually up to you. Then so we change to port 555. And if you use the browser, you need to also configure your browser to listen to um, port 5555. Yeah, so you have to go to your browser, select the let me see, preferences on your Mozilla, and you can go to the privacy and security if I'm not mistaken. Then let's find the proxy settings. Where is it? Let me see. Yeah, sometimes it's quite confusing because I use browser all the time. Never really use the Firefox. Where is it? General. Oh yeah, here, network proxy. Yeah, so under the general network proxy, you can set use network proxy or manual proxy configuration, and then set the 127.0.0.1. This is actually the loopback address, and you can set the port number like 5555, and close this one and refresh. Oops, says proxy is refusing connection. Let's see. Let me go back to this one and let it run. Minimize, go back and refresh. I think it should be okay. See, it's running well. Now we can go back to the proxy and see what we got here. Here is under the 107.1.254. Yeah, you can see the Hack Me Bank website, and then you can actually go to the target, and let me see if we can actually do the attack now. Let me check. Proxy target. This is a scanner. Let me see. There's no scanner. Well, you can just right click and look at the configuration. Yeah, you can check the login. Yeah, you can do the interception later on. It's quite complex in fact, but of course you need to understand how to use the burp suite. Yeah, there's a scanner. Yeah, I think it's only applicable for the scanner, only applicable to burp suite professional. We don't have that one. Let me see, target, proxy, spotter, scanner, intruder. Here we can actually do the target. Yeah, so just go to this one, the host 131.107.1.254, right? And you can just select start the attack. Yeah, or perhaps you can just copy this one and select start the attack. Oops, invalid target. So perhaps it's just like normal 131.107.1.254, and use or select start the attack. We need to set a payload. Yeah, so payload could be like something very simple list. You can add this one, like for example payload for password. Yeah, for the password, like for example we just put the admin, or administrator. Yeah, this is actually the attack that will allow you to do the attack on the, for example, login. Yeah, so add this one and then click start the attack. This functionality is disabled. That's why I mentioned that if you use burp suite community, the function would be a bit limited, but now we're actually started the attack. We can actually send payload. Yeah, if you want to have a full functionality of burp, you need to purchase the professional edition, which also allows you to do the attacks, the scanning, and as well as the as having the burp intruder, yeah, which allows you to do more type of attack. So in the meantime, let's just go back to this one and look at the result of the other VM. Nothing yet here. I'm not sure why, but let me see. I don't have anything yet here. there's a detail response. Yeah, it's not running well here. Let me just minimize this because I haven't really tried this tool. It's quite new for me. Let's go back to let's switch to this one, the Acunetics Web Vulnerability Scanner version 10. And from here, I can see that we have bunch of vulnerabilities like blind SQL injection. You can just click or double click to expand. You see it's under the login, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, let me see. Yes, login. And IS title directory enumeration and other things like directory listing and so on. So basically it gives you, the scanner will give you some idea about what type of vulnerability can be found in this target website. Yeah, then of course if you want, you can actually do the next step, which is based on this one. Yeah, like for example here, we already did this Nicto, we did the what web, we did the nmap. Yeah, we also did extracting by using the vulnerability script, like for example the previous one, nmap minus n minus let's say dash script equals to vuln, and you put the IP address of your target. For example, here is 1.101 or 254 depending on your target. We did this one and we did the OWASP. Yeah, now it's the time to do manual exploration of the target website. You can use several commands. Okay, let me show you this one. So using your browser, you could just go to this target website, and you can start by trying your luck on finding vulnerabilities. For example, we can start by using this simple SQL injection on the login by typing this one, single quote or 1 equals to 1 space dash. Yeah, to see if we can actually bypass the login. So for example here, let's say single quote or 1 equals to 1 dash, and you can put any password you like, whatever, and then click submit. See if we could actually, wow, oh, still not possible. We can try another one. Let's say admin single quote or 1 equals to 1 dash, and you can put like the same thing, single quote or 1 equals to 1 dash, and see what happened. See, I was able to actually bypass the login, and I'm now logged on as Joe Villela. I can see my account, and then I can see the view transaction. Like for example here, I just click view transaction, and I can see my transaction here. Yep, I can go back and look at another account, which is my account as well. Okay. And then I could easily go to, let's say, to test other vulnerabilities. Like for example here, I'll do the testing on cross-site scripting by using this script. I'll just copy the script and then go to this one, go to the posted messages. Normally this is where you can actually post any messages or any message, and put, let's say, test message, and put a script. Yeah. Now if the script could run successfully, it means that this particular application has vulnerability on cross-site scripting, and when you actually put the message text here, it will be stored in a database. So just try to click this post message and see what will happen. Yeah, it looks like normal. Yeah, and yeah, this is from this media, the Mozilla Firefox. Try again. Yeah, and then you press refresh. You see this one, we got two messages from the same Joe Villela, and we could actually refresh this reload page and resend. Yeah, so we got 3 alerts. What if I use different machine to actually scan or test this vulnerability? So let's open up what do you call this, Google Chrome here, and visit the same website. Oops, I need to do is to copy the website here, and let's do the same thing. Admin single quote and put single quote or 1 equals to 1 dash dash, and see if we can get in. Okay, we're in. Go to the posted messages. Yeah, try the same thing, just repeat. So copy this alert, the script, and then oops, yeah, so test, let's say XSS cross-site scripting, and put the script and select post message, and then try to refresh this. Yeah, it looks like it's not really vulnerable. This is just a testing, and you could also do the testing again on, let's say, my account, like for example here, view transaction. As you can see here, we got a complete transaction detail. Yeah, so for example, I'll just copy this one and put it into my other machine. So for example here, let it still run. Yeah, so just create a new notepad, let's say attack, or attack. Yeah, copy paste this one. It's a very long one, and let's see if we can actually change something to, let's say, attack, using this one. Just change this to 1 or 2 or 3, yeah, and paste this on your browser. So for example here, my accounts, free transaction, I will change this to just copy paste this one to make it easier. Let's say I change from 1 to 2 and see what happened. Wow, I can see other accounts. You can change to, let's say, 3, another account shown, 4, another account. So these are the one I tested was actually the vulnerability called parameter tampering, or something like a broken authentication. I can't really remember, I need to check. So for more info, you could check the OWASP, yeah, for this vulnerability. So for example here, let's go to Google and type OWASP top 10. The latest one is actually 2017, where you can actually see the list of vulnerabilities on many of the web applications. So we got injection, broken authentication. So it's something like this, broken authentication, or perhaps something called broken access control, because it does not actually earlier when we test by changing the account number, it did not actually, the website did not actually, or application did not actually prompt me for authentication because I'm already in. That would be a risk, yeah, to the client, because somebody can just tap into someone else's computer and then change something, yeah, depending on the situation. Yeah, so for more info, we can find this top 10 OWASP top 10 2017 about common application security risk. You could also visit this website called WebAppSec, webappsec.org, and scroll down to find the web application threat classification, where you can actually see some weaknesses, as well as, so we got the attacks and we got weaknesses. Like for example, the SQL injection, cross-site scripting, LDAP injection was actually, or were actually caused by the improper input handling, as you can see here. All right. And yeah, see this one? We got the SQL injection, buffer overflow, yeah, SQL injection, OS commanding denial of service. Yeah, so for example here, SQL injection. SQL injection is the attack technique to exploit application that construct SQL statement from user supplied input, though just like what we did, or what I did earlier. Yeah, beside this website, yeah, you could also visit the CWE website, yeah, or CWE, just type CWE 25 vulnerabilities or something like that. Yeah, top 25 vulnerabilities. So you can actually see this one, CWE /SANS top 25, where you can actually see several criterias or categories. Like for example here we got the category here, category base, yeah, like insecure interaction between components, risky resource management, force defenses. Like for example this one, CWE-89 is the same as SQL injection. Here they use the name SQL command. And the cross-site scripting here is CWE-79, yeah, which can be tested using this simple script. Oh, I know what's the problem here. So perhaps this is my problem. I wrongly typed the script. So let me trust this one again. Let's see if it actually works on this one. So let's just go to posted messages. Yeah, posted messages, and I put, let's say, test, and put the script. So notice that earlier I have this /script, which is actually wrong. I was not supposed to put this. It's supposed to be script alert, then you see this one, the alert cross-site scripting detected, then you put the slash to end up the script. Let's see, when we click post message, okay, nothing much. It says redirected. Let's try another one, the same on different machine. Let's see if we can actually see the same result. Let me log on. Single quote or sorry, admin single quote or 1 equals to 1 dash dash, and then single quote or 1 equals to 1 dash dash. Yeah, we have successfully logged on. Go to the posted messages and test, because we have already created test message. We have to identify our new message. So test script alert something. Let me see, script alert cross-site scripting detected and script. Okay, let's see. I think this should be okay. Oh, see, now we got cross-site scripting detected. So we have successfully tested the existence of this vulnerability by just using the simple script like this. So I was wrongly or perhaps wrongly typed the script using this one. I supposed to remove this one. Yeah, so this is actually the actual script that could be used to test this vulnerability. Okay, and yeah, we already did this SQL injection test using this one, and cross-site scripting test using this one, and also trying the URL tampering and broken application with different testing on the target machine. Yeah. So the previous one was actually parameter tampering, where you can actually modify the last account number here to 2, 3, and so on. The attacker can actually predict this, or perhaps try their best to actually find this kind of vulnerability. And most likely this vulnerability would not be able to be detected by most scanners. Yeah. So you have to do manual testing to make sure that the vulnerability exists, and think about validating the existence of any possible vulnerabilities found by this kind of scanner, like this one. Yeah, the using Acunetics, or using, let's say, the one we tested earlier, the OWASP. Yeah, so we got at least 2 different scanners running or tested, and shows me or show us the good result. Yeah, while the rest would be just for, like, for example, the web, the NICTO and the Nmap can also be used to do information gathering, about the the backend server or the web server or any technologies behind the website we're testing. Okay. So again, for more information, you can check the OWASP top 10. Let's say this one. The latest one is top 10 2017. You can go to this website called webappsec.org to find the threat classification about several types of attacks, cross-site scripting, SQL injection, and also learn about the weaknesses on web application. And also another one is, remember the CWE, CWE/SANS top 25 most dangerous software errors. For the industry standard, a lot of organizations are using or adopting OWASP top 10 rather than CWE SANS top 25. Perhaps because it's simple and it has a lot of information about how to fix this kind of vulnerabilities. All right, so so we got this web server and web application hacking. Although we do not actually do the web server hacking, but for the web server hacking is quite simple. You can just use tools like what do you call this? The tool that would allow you to exploit any possible web server vulnerabilities, such as, for example, the // or the directory traversal, using, for example, Metasploit, right? So it's very simple. Metasploit, because it's what do you call this? It's a framework which allows you to do the hacking on, or do the pen test on the web server. Yeah, just like let me show you something. So let me close this or minimize, and based on this information, we could actually do the attack against, let's say, because it's running 135, 139, which could be exploited. And based on our scanning by utilizing Nmap, the server is actually vulnerable to something called remote code execution. It is also vulnerable to, let's see, let's check. It did not actually check which one I tested. So 101, port 80, nothing much here. If the web server exposed other services, you might be able to actually exploit. Like, for example, you can exploit through net bias. In the real world, it's not really possible to actually find this kind of web server exposing the port 139. But in this lab, we could actually do the testing, by launching the Metasploit. Let me just minimize this. Let's try and exploit that would actually exploit the vulnerability on the file sharing or SMB. So we start with the MSF console. This is more on web application, the web server hacking by exploiting any vulnerabilities related to services offered by the web server. So I will do the clear and search for example, the most common vulnerabilities would be something related to SMB, MS03, yeah. And notice that I got this Microsoft RPC DCOM. See this one? Since the web server actually exposes this SMB and earlier was RPC, we could actually do the testing on this one. So just type info, then paste this one to see the exploit information or the information about the exploit. See this one? It works on Windows 2000 and so on, and it actually exploits the stack buffer overflow on RPC services or service. Let's try this one, just with trial luck. Yeah. So for example, use paste this one. You need to set the payload. For example, here is set payload. Of course, you need to memorize, or I would say know different type of payloads. For the meantime, I will just use the payload that I really like for example this one, the payload Windows Metterpreter reverse TCP. A very simple payload which allows you to have a connection from the target to your machine. So, and show options to see what option we have. Okay, so first we need to specify the remote host. Then because it will allow you to connect back to you, you need to specify the L host. You could also change the out port to perhaps bypass the firewall. Yeah. So for example, here we set the set our host 131.107.1.101, set L host. L host represent my Kali 131.107.1.252, and you can set optionally you can set the L port to 443 to make sure that this attack will not be, I would say, too obvious. So we'll take advantage of the port 443 as if we are actually connecting to HTTPS. And let's just type show options again to make sure that all required parameters are there. Yeah, it's already there. Yeah, then type exploit and see if the web server is vulnerable to, let's say, RPC or SMB exploits. We can do a normal, exploit by utilizing Metasploit, whether it's a web server or perhaps file server. Anything that exposes the vulnerable port can be exploited. For example, using this Metasploit. And then from there you can check whether it's true that we are already inside the machine. You just type sysinfo. Wow. And you can even do something like hash dump to get the hash or hashes. And you can use the other Metterpreter feature called shell. Just type the command shell. Oh, something wrong here. It says not enough storage. We may use different command. Like for example, I normally use like execute, then -f. We execute the command .xe, and you put the I interactive, then H to hide this process, and press enter. See, bingo, we got the WinNT system32, and so far we are already inside the server. Yeah, you can do whatever you like after this. for post implementation or post exploitation. All right, so we're done with this one. Hope this tutorial would help you on understanding the web server and web application hacking. Of course, if you want to do some more exercises or labs, I would really recommend you to go to this website called VulnHub, where you can actually download, vulnerable machine, yeah, which could be in the form of ISO file or VM, like it's compatible for VMware or VirtualBox. Okay, like for example, I can also download the things that I tested. Bat Store, for example, here. Yeah, this is Bat Store. Yeah, I could download by just searching for, let's say, Bat Store. Yeah. Okay, select go to see if we can actually find the vulnerable machine. Apply. Okay, let's see. Yeah, here we got the Bat Store 1.2.3. Yeah, which is exactly the same as what I was testing here using, yeah, this it's actually running Linux Linux Security Toolkit. Okay, and of course you can find bunch of vulnerable virtual machine or machines to be tested. You can play around with any of the machine here. This VulnHub was actually designed to provide you with many vulnerable machine for people who would like to actually do the hacking and penetration testing on web application, and of course also the system. All right, so that's all for today. Hope this particular lab or the video would help you to understand at least a bit of understanding about the web application hacking as well as hacking web server. All right, see you next time, guys. Appreciate your comments.